What's up, YouTube world? I'm over at my dad's place today. I was going to give y'all a quick rundown on some of the vehicles he has. We'll do a video a little more in depth later on, cranking up some of them after he gets some of them cleaned up. They have another home in Tennessee. We currently live in Alabama, but he has a home in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where he has another collection of vehicles. But this is some that he hauls some back and forth anyway, but some of them don't get cleaned up or driven much throughout the year. Anyway, I'm going to flip this camera around and let y'all take a look at some. We're going to start outside because this is some of the stuff that we actually sell, and then the ones in the shop are usually the ones he keeps. Anyway, we're going to flip it around and give it a go. This one is a 69 Chevrolet truck, short bed step side. A little rough around the edges. It's got some rust on it. Needs rockers and cab corners like they all do. It's got a pretty stout little 350 in it though, with a pretty good sized cam. Sounds good. Still got the old 3-speed in the floor. The interior is not, well, the dash needs a lot of help, but the seat's pretty nice in it. Just needs some tidying up on the wires and stuff. Anyway, it's got a new rocker panels with it. A little bit of bubbling over the windshield, but not terrible. Still got the old wood, well, somebody's replaced the wood bed in it at one point in time. Not done correctly, but it's there. Anyway, but it does have its rust issues like they all do in these year models, or most do. Rocker panels, inner and outer rockers, cab corners, outer floors, bottom of the doors. Anyway, at least in this part of the world, they need it anyway. Brought old Blue over this morning. This is mine and my son's 81 Chevy C10 square body. It's about to get a 4-inch lowering kit put on it, front and rear, make it look a little better, set a little better. We put new tires on it. We're gonna run the original steel wheels and hubcaps on it for now. I kind of like the look of that. Anyway, brought it over this morning, but we got to make room in the shop to get it on the lift first. My dad has a 40 by 100 shop that he actually used to work out of before he retired. Of course, he still works in it now when he's here in Alabama, but mainly he usually just stores his hot rods in it. We're gonna come in and take a look. We'll start off inside the shop with my granddaddy's. Actually, this was my granddaddy's truck. It's a 67 GMC. Short bed step side. Actually has the engraved bumper on the rear, which is pretty cool, from the dealership where it was bought new. We did put the chrome rallies on it, but we do still have the original steel wheels and GMC hubcaps for it. My granddaddy had the seat recovered several years ago. Me and my dad put a new dash pad on it a couple years ago maybe. But this is probably the most solid truck of this body style that I've ever seen around in this part of the country. But my granddaddy only used it to go coon hunting on, and for a little while he had a logging business, and he did use it to have his fuel tank in the back of for a short time. But still got the old original 6-cylinder. I remember my dad rebuilding this engine in 1982. I was 8 years old at that time, but I still remember him doing it. And then he got painted out in the yard with an electric paint gun. That's the worst. On the body right there is where somebody backed into it several years ago, actually back in the late 70s, I believe they told me, and bent that fender right there somehow. But otherwise, this truck is really solid. My dad kind of sanded the paint down some to kind of give it the sort of a patina look. Anyway, this thing still got drum brakes all the way around, and it's probably the best driving or best stopping vehicle I've ever driven with drum brakes on it. As you can see, this room's kind of got a little bit of everything in it. This is actually where we have our family Christmas get-togethers at. So right now it's only got the one truck in it, which will be moved out one day this week. Today is December the 19th. And we got to get this room cleaned up and get it ready for Christmas. We're gonna head on into the other part of the shop now. This used to be my dad's office years ago. Not much to see there. This is his baby. It's a 1941 Ford truck. He redone from the ground up. Actually had to put a brand new frame under it because the other one was in such bad shape. Anyway, maybe you can see something about it. It's a really nice truck. It's got all Mustang suspension under it. It's an 9-inch Ford rear end. Actually, this one has a 9-inch Ford rear end on it. It's got a ZZ4 crate engine in it, ordered from GM, of course, GM Performance. It's a really good driving truck. He's actually going to clean it up and take it with him to Pigeon Forge. They're going to hit some of the big shows with it this coming year. Frog Follies in Indiana will be one they've never actually been to, but and of course they hit the big shows there around Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg area. And on the drive-on lift is my baby. This is a 1937 Ford two-door sedan. We actually just finishing up and putting a new master cylinder on it. Me and my dad built this car back in, started on it in 1992. I was a senior in high school, and it was an all-original 60 horsepower flathead V8 car. I'll have to get better footage of it when it's actually down off the lift. We trying to figure out what's wrong with the Uga horn. I love the Uga horn on it. It's the original to the car, and it's currently not working, and I was going to try to see about that before we take it down off the lift. But it's a 37 Ford two-door sedan, flatback sedan they call it. They did make one called a humpback. Anyway, it's just a fun little cruiser. It's got Mustang suspension on it, 8-inch Ford rear end. It's got a 350 Chevy engine in it, automatic transmission. Flowmaster exhaust. It's just a stock engine, drivetrain, just a fun cruiser. It's definitely had several thousands of miles put on it since we built it. Never desired for it to be a perfect car, just something to get out and have fun on. This is my dad's latest purchase. It's a 1941 through 46. Not exactly sure what year model it is yet. International pickup truck anyway. He actually bought it while they were in Pigeon Forge this past summer. He's brought it back to Alabama to do some work on it here because he has 2 lifts in his shop down here. He's been doing a little bit of cleaning up on it. He just repainted inside the bed to make it look a little better. He's got a seat that he's going to put in it. He's got the floorboard out of it right now. It actually unbolts and comes out. He took it out to clean it up and paint everything in here. But it's actually sitting on a Monte Carlo chassis. So it's got a small block Chevy in it. We may or may not take the engine out of that 69 Chevrolet C10 and put in it. Hadn't decided yet. This one actually runs good, but does smoke a little bit. I figure it's set up about 10 years or so before he bought it, so it probably needs valve guide seals, I would imagine. But anyway, we'll see what we're gonna do with it. Sitting in front of the International is his 57 Pontiac Safari station wagon. Now this is a really, really cool car. It's got 17-inch torque thrust wheels on it. He found this car on the internet, actually on eBay, I believe it was, and drove all the way up to North Pennsylvania and bought it. And it had a wore out small block Chevy in it then, and we've put this engine in it. Actually bought this engine from a guy that had built a race car, a local guy that had built a race car to run on the round track here. Took it out the first night, totaled the car out, and decided he was done with that, so my dad bought the engine from him. So it's got a really rowdy sounding engine. I gave him a Pete Jackson gear drive to go in it, so it's pretty hefty sounding. It'll kind of surprise you to be a station wagon, but it's cool. He's actually got a roof rack to put on it. And we picked up a surfboard to go on the roof too. So, and again, these cars have sit, so they're all dusty and need cleaning up. We will do another video sometime soon when we get them all running, or get them cleaned up and you can hear them run. My dad is a Marine vet from the Vietnam era, so he likes to put those stickers on some of his vehicles, and I don't blame him. Here's the other side of the Pontiac Safari Super Chief station wagon. This is a really cool car. Definitely not perfect by any means, but it cleans up well. The paint's still shiny on it, and it's just a cool old car. Over here where the two-post lift is at is a 66 Chevrolet C10. Let's see if you can tell something about it under the hood. It's kind of dark in here today. It's pretty clean under the hood. It's got a pretty good sounding cam in this engine. It's a small block Chevy as well. Power steering on it, power disc brakes. It's been converted to 5-lug. He just put Moser 5-lug axles and stuff in the rear end. Still waiting to decide what kind of wheels we want to put on it. It does have 5-lug truck rallies on it. This is a big back window cab, custom cab truck. It's been redone some point in time back in the day, but it could stand a good freshening up. But pretty solid old truck. And the last one we're going to show you today is a 30 Ford Model A sedan, 2-door sedan. We are about to get ready to take this body off the frame. I'm going to update everything on the suspension, just clean the frame up real good and paint it, and just kind of get it ready to go back together as a sort of like a rat rod, I guess you would say, is what he's kind of wanting to do with it. It's a pretty solid car. It does need the lower cowls like just about all these old Model A's do, but this one's not terribly bad. It's got a 351 Cleveland in it. It's a pretty good running engine. I assume he's going to leave it in it for the time being, but I'm not sure. He'd talk about possibly putting something a little smaller in it, but I'm not sure what he wants to do. A lot of people frown up on having a Chevy engine in a Ford, but it doesn't really matter to us. We just like them, as long as they're kind of easy to work on and easy to get parts for. So, pretty solid car. We'll do a video on it when we start taking the body off the frame. Guys, I know I called this truck a 66 earlier, but it's actually a 65. I don't know why I said 66. Pretty good sounding old Chevy C10 though. As you can see, it don't get run much. is, thank y'all for hanging out with us for a few minutes today. Just wanted to give you a little quick rundown of some of the stuff in my dad's shop. Like I said, we'll do a more in-depth video on it a little later on. I got another buddy of mine that's got a lot bigger channel than I do, and he's wanting to come do some footage on it as well. But anyway, just wanted y'all to see what some of the stuff we do have. It is kind of nice, and he does have a place to work on it that I can come to. Just have to make room in here because it's kind of full. So anyway, and when we get to Tennessee, we're actually going next week after Christmas. I'll show y'all some of the other vehicles he has up there too. Y'all have a good one. Thank you. Thank you for watching.